A difficult race awaits these drivers here in Monza, but glory awaits too at the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest track in Formula One. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6-mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some close action. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Norris, Hamilton, Williams, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Albon, Stroll, Bottas, Joe, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Sargent, Ricciardo, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. Ant, it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Right, let's get the car up to temperature on this lap, please. We're loading the gears, so let's go through them all if we can. Might see some rain, ETA about 15 minutes. Okay, that's not an ideal placement in your grid slot. You're going to need a good launch at the race start. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today, here at the oldest circuit on the calendar, which hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. We're 12 miles northeast of Milan for today's Grand Prix at a Monza circuit where we can expect top speeds of around 215 miles per hour. 11 corners on this 3.6-mile track, with 7 of those coming in the form of chicanes. And with a good slipstream and DRS open, there should be plenty of opportunity for some passing here today. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Norris, Hamilton, Williams, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Albon, Stroll, Bottas, Joe, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Sargent, Ricciardo, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And what would any Grand Prix weekend be without the one and only Anthony Davidson alongside me, as always, to talk you through the action. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? So we're in for an exciting start then, I'm sure. And then they'll all start to settle down a bit and try and find a rhythm as they plan the next phase of the Grand Prix. It's important to know when to push and when to hold back so as not to overcook those tyres early on.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. technical issues coming off the practice starts. Watch the RPM on the full start. We don't want you to bog down. Decent parking. Let's try and get a good launch as the lights go out. Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights. That's a decent start. Good job.
Only a handful of tracks inspire as much adoration and nostalgia in the hearts of F1 fans as this one. This historic circuit awaits you. Welcome to Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds up to 215 and an average lap speed of around 155 miles per hour, Monza's reputation as one of the fastest circuits in the sport is well earned. We have 11 corners on this 3.6-mile track, with the best overtaking chance coming into the heavy braking zone of the Turn 1 chicane. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Verstappen, Hamilton, Stroll, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Magnussen, Ocon, Gasly, Sargent.
Okay, so our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of this lap. Stable at the moment, no rain currently expected. Okay.